Hi guys. Okay, you asked for it, so here it is. Here is going to be a very slow tutorial on how to do a crochet hair scrunchie. It's going to look something like this. These are two examples of hair scrunchies that I have made. So let's get started. You're going to need a hair elastic. Now, this can be any hair elastic. Just go find a hair elastic and give it a tug to make sure it's not going to break on you. All right, I am using a 6mm hook, J hook, 6mm, but you could use a 5 or 5.5, whatever you feel comfortable with. The smaller the yarn, the smaller the needle, the bigger the yarn, the bigger the hook. You're going to need a darning needle, something like this to sew in your ends that has a large loop here. You're going to need a pair of scissors. Any pair of scissors will do. Okay, and you're going to need yarn. So for yarn, you can use any yarn. You could use a velvet yarn and just go up on your hook size. So on your tag of the label on your yarn, it should tell you the recommended hook size. So just follow that. I'm using just regular 4 weight worsted yarn. This is just I think it's a red heart color that I have some left. So you're going to look for a size like this. A pretty good ball is what you're going to need to do your hair scrunchie. All right, and this is going to be, I'm going to try to make this very slow for those of you who did want me to slow down. Okay, so you take your hair elastic, you put your yarn through the hair elastic. You're going to leave 4 or 5 inches for a tail. Okay, so you're going to just tie a knot on your hair scrunchie with your yarn, leaving a tail. All right, I like to tie 2 knots there just to get it nice and secure. And you can pause this video at any time and catch up. And you can even go in the settings and adjust the settings to half speed if you want to, or a slower speed. All right, so we have our hair elastic, we have our yarn tied to it with 2 knots, we have our long tail. Okay, we're going to take our yarn hook, and if you have a 5, that will work perfectly fine, a 5 hook. This is a 6 hook. Okay, so I'm going to be holding my hair scrunchie like this. This is how I like to hold my work. I like to hold my tension like this. Control my tension. Some people wrap it around their finger. I cannot do that. All right, so this is how I hold my work. All right, you're going to take your hook, you're going to insert it into the center of the hair scrunchie. You're going to go around just like you're doing a single crochet. That's what we're doing, single crochets. You're going to hook your yarn and pull up. You're going to hook your yarn and pull through. That is a single crochet. We're going to be doing as many single crochets as we can fit on here. All right, so you can pause this video while you go ahead and do your single crochets. I'm going to put about 60, so I'm going to be counting in my head so I don't mess you up. So you can just go ahead and put your single crochets on your hair scrunchie. All right, if you do not know how to do a single crochet, I have a very slow tutorial on all basic crochet stitches. So look for that video, and I go very slow on that. So if you need to learn how to do everything basic for crochet stitches, look for that video. All right, again, we're going into our hair scrunchie, loop, pull up, loop, pull through. Okay, we're going to be doing that same stitch all around our hair scrunchie. So you can work on your own, and I'll work on my own, and we'll meet back here when we have about 60. If you can't fit 60 single crochets on your hair elastic, just fit what you can fit. And make sure you're scooching up your work like that. Okay, so here I am at 60. Again, if you did not finish yours yet, pause the video and then do yours and then catch up with me, okay? All right, so we are going to be connecting to our first stitch. All right, so the top of the first stitch right here, I'm going to show you where it is here. All right, so we're going to be going into right here is where we're going to be going into. That stitch right there. All right, so we're going to be doing a slip stitch. All right, so we take our hook we're going to be going into those 2 stitches that I just showed you. See, there's two loops right here, 2 loops in this 1 stitch right there. So we're going into that stitch. We're going to loop our yarn, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops, and then we're going to pull through this loop. Okay, that's a slip stitch. All right, so it's connected. And what we can also do is we can tie in our tail. Usually I will crochet over it, and I just forgot to do it on this tutorial. So get your darning needle and put your yarn through. And we're going to be going in on top of the elastic, so don't poke through the elastic. Just grab some stitches like this, pull through. You don't want to pull too tight that you distort. Now we're going to skip over that last stitch. We're going to go back through. Again, do not hook your elastic like this and pull through. And then we're going to skip this first couple stitches here, go in there, and just go back through. You're going on top of the elastic so you don't catch the elastic. And you can go even farther than we did the first time. You're just hiding your ends, you're weaving in your end. Okay, so you just pull it through like that. And then just cut off your extra. All right, now your tail is all hidden. You can save your scraps for fill later. If you're doing another project that needs fill, you can use your scrap yarn. Okay, so, all right, that was the first step. Did everybody follow along? For those of you who wanted me to slow down, was that better? Was that slower? So we did about 60 stitches here of single crochet. All right, so that's what your hair scrunchie should look like. If it stretches out too much and you don't like that look, you can go back and take some stitches off. Okay, but this is about 60 single crochets on here. If your hair tie is smaller and you could not fit on 60, that's fine too. All right, so this is what the first row should look like, all single crochets. So let me know in the comments, did I go slow enough for you? And again, you can always stop the video and catch up. I do it all the time when I'm watching tutorials. I just stop the video and I catch up, and then I go a little bit more, and then I stop the video. All right, so that's our first row with single crochets. It should look like this. Okay, we're going to chain up 3. All right, so we're going down, hook our yarn, pull through. That's chain number 1. We're going down, hook our yarn, pull through. We're going down, hook our yarn, pull through. That is 3 chains. Again, if you need some more time, pause the video. All right, so that is 3 chains. Okay, now we're going to be doing a double crochet. If you don't know how to do a double crochet, you can go watch my video. I teach you very slow how to do the double crochet. All right, but we're going to go and load up our hook with a loop. So we go down and put a loop on our hook. All right, we're going to be going into that same space right there that we just came out of. So if you pull your yarn, you'll see that there's a hole right here where you did that first chain 3. We're going into that same hole that you did your chain. Okay? All right, so we've got a loop on our hook. We're going into this hole right here. So we go through the whole entire stitch. All right, we're going to loop our yarn. See, this hand is moving. We're going to loop our yarn in the back. and we're going to pull it through and up. All right, you should see 3 loops on your hook at this point. We're going to loop again, so we're going to go down, loop our yarn. We're going to pull through 2 loops. And we have 2 loops still on our yarn, on our hook. All right, we're going to go down, loop the yarn again. And we're going to pull through those 2 loops. Okay, that is a double crochet. All right, so that's number 2 because our first chain 3 is counting as our first double crochet. All right, so we're going to do another one. So down, loop. We're going to go into that same exact hole. All right, we're going to loop our yarn, catch our yarn, pull it up through and up. Loop our yarn, pull it through 2 loops, excuse me. All right, you have 2 loops still on your hook. Down, loop, pull through. All right, so this first chain is counting as our first double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, and they're all going into one hole here. That's what we're going to do around this whole hair scrunchie. Okay, so each stitch from our first row, here's our next one. We're not just going in the front and we're not just going in the back loop, we're going through both loops. All right, we're going to put 3 double crochets into each of those stitches, 3 in the same hole, every single one. All right, so here's our first one. Again, if you don't know how to do the double crochet and you need more time, just stop the video and catch up. All right, so that's 2. Three. All right, those all went into the very, very same hole. All right, so this was our first stitch that we put our chain 3 and our 2 double crochets into this hole. And then the very next hole, we did 3 double crochets. We're going to continue and do that for every single stitch. Okay, so get your yarn. Make sure you have lots of yarn pulled out so it's not pulling your work. Okay, and this is how I like to hold my hair scrunchie when I'm working on it. All right, so you're going to be putting 3 double crochets into each hole. So I'm going to work on my own. You work on your own. And whenever you need to stop the video to catch up, you can stop the video and catch up. All right, and anytime you need to spread your stitches out, just spread them out on the elastic. Okay, you will see your hair scrunchies start to look like this. This is good. You're wanting it to look like this. All right, and the more single crochets that you load up on your hair scrunchie, the fuller your hair scrunchie will be. Okay? And anytime you can't see your stitches because they're scrunched up, you just pull the stitches apart here. Just spread them out on the elastic. Again, we're putting 3 double crochets into each stitch from the row before. And if I'm going too fast for you, you can stop the video at any time. And you could also go into settings and slow down the video speed. I've done that many times. You just adjust the video speed to how slow you need me to be going. So we're doing the same exact stitch. We're doing double crochets, and we're doing 3 double crochets in each of these stitches. And I'm using variegated yarn, so this is changing color automatically. I don't even have to change the colors, but if you wanted to change the colors, you could do a solid granny square, a solid hair scrunchie like this one, and then add a different color for the last step that we're going to be doing. I do sell my hair scrunchies on my Etsy shop. I sell them in sets. All right, so you're just going to keep continuing to go around your hair scrunchie, doing 3 double crochets in each hole. Again, if it gets too crowded, just spread it out. And if you don't like the look of a really full hair scrunchie, just put less single crochets on. If you like it even more full, you can put more single crochets on. You can do these in any color. You can do velvet ones. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on doing a velvet hair scrunchie. That's on my list of things to do. If you like these videos, give me a like and a subscribe to see more. And put down in the comments what you would like to see, because I want to make videos that will help you and make videos that you want to see. So drop a comment and let me know what you would like to see for videos. Okay, and if you can't see your stitches, just spread them out. Okay, we are approaching. I'm going to do some more stitches here. Again, we're doing 3 double crochet in each of these stitches. It's going to be easier and easier for you to snag this beginning part. So what I do is I just like to fold it behind with my fingers so I don't snag it. And I keep my other fingers behind here so that I know where I'm going into. Again, we're doing 3 double crochets into each of these stitches. That's what we did around this whole thing. Oops. Okay, so we've got 2 more stitches to go here. Again, fold that first one back so you don't snag it. And sometimes it gets a little crowded in here, and just do your best to move everything out of your way with your fingers. Okay, be very careful that you do not snag your beginning stitches. So we're just be very careful when we are looping there. One more. Okay, so we've finished 3 double crochets in each of those stitches. Okay, so your hair scrunchie should look something like this. Again, your tension, your yarn, your hair elastic, you might have some, yours might look a little different. Okay, so this is what we're going to do to connect this. All right, we're going to count 1, 2, 3 up our chains. All right, and we're going to go into that top 3rd stitch. All right, so you just insert your hook like this. You're going to loop the yarn. And you're going to pull through those, and you're going to pull through the loop that we just finished, and tighten everything up. Pull your yarn so you tighten everything up, okay? 1 more row and then we're done. All right, but this is the longest row. All right, so what I like to do is I chain 1, so you're gonna loop, pull a loop through. We just chained 1. All right, and then we're gonna turn our work. All right, we're going to be working on the back side of the hair scrunchie, but we're doing the same thing on all of these stitches. We're just going to put 1 single crochet. All right, we're going into the entire stitch here. All right, so here's our stitch. It's a V. We're going into the whole stitch. We're not doing only the front or only the back loop. We're going right into that entire stitch. All right, so make sure you've pulled everything so this is nice and tight. All right, so a single crochet is just you're going in first. So you go in, loop your yarn, pull it up and through and up, then hook your yarn, pull through both loops. That's a single crochet. All right, we're doing that this whole hair scrunchie now. Going in, loop, pull through, loop, pull through 2 loops. Insert your hook, grab a loop, pull through and up, loop your yarn, pull through 2 loops. Okay, we're doing that in every single stitch, all the way around. If you need to stop the video, you can stop the video. If you need to put the video in slow-mo, you can do that in settings. All right, so this whole entire row is going to be single crochets into the top stitch. If you go in between your fibers like that, that's called splitting your yarn. Just take it out and redo it. If you go in between all of these fibers and get hooked up, just take it out and redo it. So let me know in the comments, is this your first hair scrunchie? Have you done other hair scrunchies? What are some of the projects that you like to make? Are you a beginner crocheter? I do have a video on very slow tutorials on how to do all the beginning stitches, single crochets, double crochets, half double crochets, so watch that video. But let me know in the comments, what do you like to make? What's your favorite thing to crochet? Are you brand new at it? What do you hope to make? I'd love to read your comments, and maybe I'll make a video out of your comments. So if your comment is exciting enough to make a video, maybe I'll make a video about your comment. All right. I do have a TikTok also, MelodyYarnTinka. I have a TikTok and an Instagram, so I'd love for you to follow me on those channels as well. Okay, so we're just inserting, loop, pull through, inserting, loop, pull through, inserting hook, pull through, loop, pull through. Again, if you need to slow this down, you can do that in the settings. If you need to stop the video at any time, you just stop the video and catch up. All right, we're doing a single crochet in each of these stitches. I'm trying to go slow. And if you're working with yarn, scrap yarn, and you don't have enough yarn to do this final row, that's okay. It's really not needed. I just like to have this final row. You could have stopped at the last row, especially if you have velvet. So right after you come out of your loop, go right into the next one. Again, if I'm going too fast, you can stop the video and catch up. And if I'm going too fast, you can slow down the video in settings. Okay, we're approaching the beginning again. How are you guys doing? And I like to put this finger underneath where my stitch is going. So I feel the hook going into that stitch. Okay, we're approaching our beginning. All right, so we're doing our last stitch right here. That's our last one. All right, and then we are going into here, the top of our first stitch. All right, so just find that first stitch over here. Go into the top of it. Loop your hook. Pull through that stitch. And pull through this one. That's a slip stitch. All right, and then just this is how I like to finish them off. So I leave a big hook, a big loop, and then I leave a little tail and I'll cut it off. All right, and then I will pull out my yarn. Then I will attach it to my darning needle. I'll go into the next stitch, the top of the next stitch, pull through, bring it back to the front, and then I'll go just into the top of this stitch here. Pull it through, and that makes a nice edge. If you need to stop and rewind that, stop and rewind, or stop the video if you need to catch up. All right, so we're going to just put a simple knot here. So I go through, just make a knot. Okay. Then we're just going to weave in. So pick a spot here and just weave in your ends. If it comes off your darning needle, just put it back on. This is why we leave a nice tail on all of our projects, so we have plenty of yarn to do our tie-in and our weaves. All right, so just keep going. Make sure you go back and forth 3 times. Give it a nice, secure weave in here. Okay, then you're going to cut your extra yarn. Make sure you don't cut your work. Save these for scrap yarn to use as fill. If you do any plushies or anything that needs stuffing, save your yarn for free fill. All right, so here's our little tail from before. We're just going to trim it down. It's sticking out a little bit too much. All right, and there we go. So then you just even it out. Just manipulate it with your hands and spread the ruffles out so the ruffles are nice and even. And see how cute and pretty this is? A cute little hair scrunchie. You can make these in any colors, any color combination, school colors, team colors, holiday colors, whatever you want. Isn't that so cute? All right, so if you like this tutorial, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.